All right, so picture this. You're going through your computer, right? Looking for a game you bought like a while back.
Uh-huh.
And it's just gone, completely vanished. Like poof. It's happened to the best of us.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Well, what if I told you that this whole vanishing act could become way more common, especially with our games?
And it's not just games. We're talking about pretty much everything digital. This whole idea of digital ownership, it's getting kind of messy.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. We're talking about what it really means to own something in the digital world, especially with all this buzz around some new changes on Steam.
Yeah, Steam's kind of kicked the hornet's nest here, haven't they?
Big time. They've changed their wording. Now, when you go to buy a game, it doesn't really say you're, actually buying it. It
Right.
says it grants a license for the product on Steam. Okay, so maybe that sounds kind of like lawyer speak.
Which most ELAs are, let's be honest.
For sure. But what does that even mean for us, the gamers?
Well, buckle up, because this is where it gets interesting. See, there's this new law in California that's forcing companies to be straight up about what buying something digitally actually means.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yeah. And legally speaking, it's always been more like, I don't know, renting an apartment than actually owning a house.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this.
You're basically buying the right to use something, to access it, but you don't actually own the thing itself.
So it's kind of like I can borrow a book from the library, read it, enjoy it, but the library still owns it, right?
100%. They set the rules, they can take it back, they can even decide to just like stop lending it out altogether.
And that's basically what these companies are saying now, just more directly.
Yeah, pretty much. And look, this has always been buried in those crazy long terms and conditions, those EULAs we all just blindly click through.
Oh, absolutely. Never read those.
Nobody does. But now the spotlight's on them and they have to be upfront about it.
Okay, so if this has always been the case, why are people freaking out now?
That's the thing, right? It's because the way we experience digital stuff, it's just exploded. We buy more games digitally than ever. We stream music, movies, all that jazz. Plus, we see what happens when companies pull the plug.
Oh, right. Like when Ubisoft shut down the servers for The Crew, I remember that.
Exactly, or the whole Adult Swim games situation.
Yeah.
People lost access to games they thought they owned. It just makes you think, what happens to my stuff if a company decides to shut down?
That's a little unsettling, to say the least. With physical games, worst case, I lose the disc. This is like my whole digital library just gone.
And it's not just games, right? Music subscriptions, ebooks, software, it's all kind of up in the air.
Wow. So is there any way to truly own something digital? Or is that just like a fantasy at this point?
That's the million-dollar question. Maybe this whole situation will force some new ideas. Like, imagine games where you actually own pieces of the game,
Yeah.
like through blockchain technology.
Oh, interesting.
Or, get this, maybe we'll see a comeback for physical media. Cartridges, CDs, the good old days.
Now that's a twist I didn't see coming. Back to the future, huh?
Right. It really makes you think about what's more important, the convenience of digital or the security of actually owning something.
That's the big question, isn't it? Convenience versus control. And it's something to think about not just for gamers, but for everyone who uses, well, pretty much anything digital.